1 minute. Okay, good evening. Welcome to the Tuesday, October 29th, 2024 City of West Point work session. I'd like to call the work session to order. We begin by reviewing the agenda. Tonight we'll have public comment. We'll have the monthly reports. We have 3 items on new business: the Historic Preservation Commission appointment, rezoning and annexation of 523 Warner Road, and the 2025 proposed budget presentation. And those are the items on our agenda for this evening. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Tonight we have public comment. Is there anybody here that's here for public comment? Okay, I won't go into the details of public comment if we have no one here for that. I'll move right on to the monthly reports, and we'll begin with police. Chief?
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and ladies and gentlemen of the council. So for the month of September, our total calls for service needing documentation was 66. That's down from August, down 39 from August. Of those calls for service, a total of 46 were of criminal nature, and 13 of those resulted in arrest. There was a total of 192 citations issued, which is an increase from August, and a total of 88 written warnings issued, which was also an increase from August with a margin of 5 in between those months. There was a total of 12 traffic crashes, with all being uniform crashes, no private property crashes. We've changed when I say we, the state is changing some of the ways that we're handling private property documentation on crashes. It doesn't skew any number or anything. We lost both cadets in the academy due to some unforeseen circumstances. But on a happier note, we have taken the step. The city of West Point has taken the step. We now have our own child crimes or internet child crimes investigator. That's Officer Josh Ball. He graduated. It's the GBI's Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force, and we do now have an officer that's attached to the task force. It's more so an investigative tool. He won't be dedicating any time or hours to the GBI, but it's a great resource. He's now trained to look into any internet crime that would affect a child. And Officer Poe and his wife welcomed their son this month, so just a week ago. So congratulations to them.
Great.
Any questions?
Anybody got any questions?
Have you replaced the DARE officer?
We actually did have an applicant, the SRO. We are interviewing him next Tuesday, and I do have high hopes. I try not to put the cart or the cart before the horse, but it's looking like we will soon. Hopefully within the next couple weeks.
Great. Anybody else? All right. Next on the list is fire, but I don't see.
Chief Staley has that group there.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah. Okay, so we'll skip over that. Utilities.
Afternoon. For the month of September, with our electric department, we put in 5 new electric services. All those, most of them were in the Forest Park area. Dennis was lucky enough to get somebody to build some houses in there. Thank you, Dennis. We need the revenue. We had the hurricane at the end of September. It done minimal damage. very little. We were fortunate. Some other people weren't so fortunate, but we were pretty fortunate, thank God. In the gas department, we took out 16 services in the housing authority. I think there's a handful of those left, maybe 6 or 8. Mr. Moon may know more about that than I do. And then we'll be able to abandon all those utilities over there, and that can move forward. We had 4 gas leaks reported in September. They were all inside. None of them were on our services, on our mains. We were good on that part. We put in 5 sewer services, again, all to the houses. Dennis got us in Forest Park. Utility Protection Department, they done 272 underground locates. That is way up from what it normally is this time of year. That's generally a good sign that people are doing work around town. It's also a bad sign when they're breaking things too. The water plant, in September, we produced 39 million gallons of water. That's down from 53 million gallons in August. We typically take a big dive this time of year when it starts cooling off. Wastewater plant, we discharged 46 million gallons. That was up from 41 million gallons from August, and that was due to the flooding from Hurricane Helene. We stayed underwater for several days. The river stayed up and all our lines stayed underwater, so a lot of that was just river water going through. In September, we finished our right-of-way trimming for the year, our bush hogging, continued to work on our Highway 29 rebuild project. It was in the 2024 budget. Hopefully we'll finish that by the end of the year if the schedule holds up. We had 3 linemen complete their apprenticeship training. As far as the curriculum goes, they've got a few months left to complete their hours. And then they'll be able to become real linemen, hopefully. Again, we removed a whole bunch of services from the housing authority. We implemented some new training qualifications in the gas department. That's been something that's been left up to the operators over the years, and a lot of managers and utility directors around the state got together and really pushed the PSC on coming up with a better way to qualify everybody. So now everybody's going to undergo the same exact training, so we can send our people anywhere, or anybody could send their people to help us, and we're all trained and qualified the exact same way. Kind of like taking a soldier, you can send them anywhere and use them. It's a good thing. It's real good for safety. We started working on cleaning up the old water treatment plant. That thing, we stopped using it in 2001. We've never completely abandoned it. We took the old well house out, had a few trees we had to take down. We're in the process now of getting all the pumps and all the gigantic plumbing out of the bottom of it so we can get that non-certified as a water plant in the state of Georgia. That's pretty much it. Unless y'all have any questions.
Questions, anybody? All right, thank you, Sammy.
Thank you.
Next, we'll go on to Public Works.
Good evening. Good evening. All right, public work for the month of September. Sanitation, we had 103 tons of curbside pickup for the month of September. Down just a little bit from last month, from 105. It'll start picking up in November and December with the leaves falling and stuff like that. Knock on wood, once again, they had to go pick up no trash can and recycle for Amways. That's a compliment from this time last year that I went back and looked at. We haven't had to go to a customer house and go pick up trash and recycle. So once people learn to call City Hall if they trash been missed, we will get Amways to go back out and pick it up. So that's still a good thing. So ain't nobody from public work had to go out and pick up no recycle, no trash can. Have been getting calls, want to update y'all, have been getting calls about the trash can downtown. They still just need to call City Hall, and City Hall will have Amways to come in with the trash can downtown, if y'all get called on that too. For TVs, we picked up 7 in the month of September. Tires, we picked up 10, and we picked up 40 bags of trash. And what we started doing now, one day a week, we'll have 3 to 4 guys go around certain parts of the city and pick up trash. So that number will start going up for us, November and December, stuff like that. Harris County inmate, they have started, they cut the cemetery twice because grass started slowing down in September. So they cut all 4 cemeteries twice in the month of September. We were asked to start cutting back the fence line part of the weekend on Kill Parkway, so we started cutting that back where the state started cutting the park back on the interstate, so they, well, not really see Kill, so we can clean up our part of the property too. Now we are cleaning up the part that we don't have to contract out for cutting big trees down. The part that we can do ourselves, we started doing that for Kill Parkway. The inmates are doing that. They cut Kill Parkway. Another reason we started that too, because when the flood came in late September, that ditch line out there at Kill Parkway, they were about to run over in the road. So we also going out there and cleaning the ditch out too, so we won't get a call of flood on Kill Parkway if that happens again. Street department, they also did, they rounds of cutting, or they did 2 scheduled rounds of cutting also. Now we going back and weed eating, cleaning up, curbing, edging, trimming hedges, stuff like that as grass season started to slow down. Downtown, we through with 3rd Avenue for pressure washing. We still doing pressure washing 2 days a week. We start blowing off 3 days a week now with the weather changing. But they all finished with 3rd Avenue. They finished with West 8th Street from 2nd Avenue to 4th Avenue. And they are finished with West 9th Street from 2nd Avenue to 4th Avenue. They are also now completed with J. Smith Memorial Park. So now we're starting on 4th Avenue. Patches. For patches, they did a patch on Tier Road, Lloyd Patch they had to do there. They 100 block of Tier Road. They also had to do a patch at Grant Court and Avenue L. And storm drain, clean storm drain at East 6th Street and Avenue H and 1233 OG Skinner Drive. People complain about when it rained and flood right there, so we had to cut back and jet out the storm drain. Thanks Sammy for letting me use the jet truck. But that's all I got. Anything else?
Any questions?
Is your staff trained where if they picking up trash beside the road, if they can identify who's throwing it out, like a envelope or something with somebody's name on it, that they can report that person?
If they get that, we report it to the code enforcement. We get that to the code enforcement so he can follow up with that, yes. Now, for his household garbage, if they throw that out, we do send somebody to go by there and go through it. And then we just throw them back out of the truck. So, and then we just turn the name into the code enforcement.
Great.
Yeah. Any more questions?
All right, thank you, Robert.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Dennis, community development is next.
Good evening. The September monthly report will start with code enforcement. Code enforcement is sent out in September. Sent out 13 notices of violations, 78 erosion and sediment control inspection, basically checking to make sure everything's in place and no dirt getting off the property. He assisted 12 other departments. Again, what Robert's saying, if there's a complaint, he will go out and look at that and try to track down who's dumping illegally or whatnot. He had a total of 7 complaints, was in 3 meetings, no training thus far, no plan review thus far, and dealt with 18 citizens via phone complaint. Phone. Permits and inspections, we had, 4 new, these are just residential, 4 new residential permits, 25 inspections, 5 violations, 3 stop work orders in, September. 1 CO was issued, 10 meetings and site visits were, customer contact 40. As far as planning and zoning, it's been kind of a, I've been busier now, so it's a sign of things to come. I did have 1 soil and erosion plan submitted, did have 1 returned at a record rate. It was unbelievable how quick they got, and I want to thank the state. They are now getting more people involved in that, so it's not, the turnaround was like 3 weeks on this one, so that was surprising. Usually it's been taking about 45 to 60 days from the state, so we're trying to build a relationship while as they're also adding more people to do the plan reviews. There were 5 meetings with builders and contractors at that time, and 2 of them have been infield type development. And like Sammy was saying, this property on Park Place is part of our program for infilling some of the areas that need to be developed. That was the property that we had rezoned. It was not a spot zoning, it just basically helped us with getting the smaller houses and getting them sold. And if I'm not mistaken, I think there's been 3 of those 6 there. 3 of them have already sold, and the last one is, up ready for market. I had 1 request on signage. I'm always getting something on signage, and 1 for a potential new residential development downtown, but I'm not at liberty to discuss that because it's kind of in discussion right now. I had 4 inquiries on Exit 2 property and 1 inquiry on Exit 6 property. No open records and no zoning letters of verification. Also, I'm going to throw this out here too, just to let you know, and I think the mayor and Ed has received that we have the deadlines coming up for the comp plan. It just seems like it wasn't too long ago we were working on the comprehensive plan. So that deadline is coming up for October 31st, 2025. So we got to start getting our people together and start setting up for public hearings and getting our regional commission involved in on that. So that's all I have on there. Any questions, comments?
Anybody? All right, thank you. Finally, we have recreation.
Good evening. Well, we're still in our fall activities, which we had registration, which I said last time, July through August, and then we got football, flag football, soccer, cheerleading, and going on at this point. We're finishing up, fixing to go into the playoffs this coming month. And all our activity fees for that was $35 per participant. And we had a total of 31 teams overall. And like I said last time, splash pad's been closed, over 3,000 participants. At the one that we know we got head counts, and the estimated that many at the one down here on the river. And we got some adult programs going on, Flex and Silver Sneakers, which Silver Sneakers is very popular, and there's a lot of people going to that. And we got the River Park in September. We had it rented out for 2 with breast cancer awareness and faith ministry at no cost to them. So that's 2 nonprofit organizations, and one was to raise money for cancer awareness. And we did a lot of pre-planning for, I think, 3 events that we do coming up, which I'll report in October. And one went real well, and the other one did too, so I'll report that in October. And just pre-planning for the winter sports coming up right now, which starts registration next Monday. Any questions?
Doesn't
How
look
do you
like
have 3,000 applicants?
Do what now?
How do you have 3,000 participants?
Well,
We got like 3,200 people in this town.
We had some big crowds. Sometimes we have an attendance of 80 in a day. Some of them will be like 25 out of daycare or something like that they bring them over. We don't one in area's got one size of grain. So it's pretty popular. It's used all the time. And this one down here, it's not monitored, and people come out of the pavilion, have picnics, and bring groups plus people walking up, and it runs from 8 to 8, so that's why that one's real popular, because we close at 5 certain nights and 6 over here, so they still can come here at 8 o'clock. So, anything else?
Guess that's it. Thank you much. All right, let's begin new business. Tonight, we have the Historic Preservation Commission appointment, and we'll call on Kristen Lester.
Yes, in regards to the Historic Preservation Commission, we have Jane Fuller's term has expired. So in the packet, you have 2 applicants. You have Jane Fuller, has reapplied, and Jamie Welch. And that will be on the next business meeting agenda for consideration.
Okay. Any questions or comments from anyone on this? All right. All right, next we have the rezoning and annexation at 523 Warner Road. Dennis, can you tell us about that?
As part of the requirements for annexation and rezoning, there's a process, of course, that we have to go through as far as notification with the county, how our public hearings are set up, and at what time we go through all the state and federal bureaucracy that's involved with this. We did receive an application. It is for the 523 Warner Road. It's a property that is now owned by Safe Truck Solutions LLC. This is just informative to let you know that I did submit a letter letting them know, and it should be in your packet to let them know that there is an annexation and rezoning on that property. We give them 5 days for notification. They did respond, and the next meeting, I think it's November 5th, is when they're going to call it up for their board to be notified of it as well. But also in the meantime, I was able to set up and trying to get the 45 days, no more than 45 days and 30 days, and then the other days to line up. The Municipal Planning Board will have 2 meetings, November 4th, Planning Board, and then December 2nd, both will be at 5:30 in this office. For the council, I believe I have that set up for, I have that right here with me. For city council ads have been run, is for December 9th. Yes, December 9th will be November 26th will be the first time you'll hear it, and then November 9th will be the decision date. Now again, we're waiting on November 5th from the county, just to inform us that they're okay, or just have any questions for us. So, I know it's kind of brief, but the next time that we do meet, there will be more detailed information about this development. Again, it's a truck parking and commercial development. It's not just it's a terminal. It's a unique development, and you'll have more information as it becomes available.
What was the address again?
523 Warner Road.
They'll be accessing that through exit 6, won't they?
Yes.
Yeah. Any questions, comments from anybody on this? Anybody got a question, comment?
My only comment and questions was about that thing is, without knowing exactly where it was, I don't wanna put the burden on the fire department to be able to service it if they can't get to it, but it's just right around the corner from the fire department, so. How about utilities and services out there? Do we have to do any of that, or do we have it out there?
Sewer is close, and we're gonna have to extend the water line from quite a distance, but, the developer agreed, to pay a portion of that cost in the city, provide some of the materials for that project.
That's all I have.
Okay, anybody else? All right, well then, we'll thank you, Dennis. We'll move on to the 2025 proposed budget presentation. Ed?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. You have, in front of you, 3 documents. One is a summary, it's just a budget, it's titled Budget Report Read Summary at the top. And, that's for your information. It has everything, just single line item for each different part of the budget. And then there's a proposed budget 2025. That's the account numbers, the description, and the budget amount. This is what we'll release to the public. So that's the document that everyone will get a chance to review. And you also have a copy of the presentation as well. So for a summary of the proposed budget, the total proposal, including all funds, is $29,810,014.06. The operational budgets, electric is $11.5 million. Keep in mind that $9 million of that is purchased electricity. General government is $9 million, and there's 12 service functions under that. Again, as part of your detail, you can see all the things that are listed under general government. Water and sewer, $4 million. Gas is $1 million. Sanitation is $500,000, and then we have our SPLOST expenditures of $2.9 million. That's both Troop Harris County SPLOST and Harris County T-SPLOST are all included in that number. And that's not just for SPLOST 6 coming up. That's the old SPLOST that we still have some funds available through. And then last is cost of living adjustment for all full-time employees is 4%, and that's based on the Consumer Price Index, July 23rd through June July 23 through June of 2024, that 12-month period is historically what we base the CPI on. Any questions on that slide? So for under utilities, some of the costs associated with that, some of the new things outside of just normal operations. For electric, water, sewer, and gas, Sammy has a meter replacement program and remote reading technology. This will not complete that, but it's a start in that direction so that we don't have to use all staff for meter reading. They'll be able to do that remotely. Then there's increased contractor cost, material cost across the board, and everybody sees that. We certainly see that in utilities. It is unbelievable some of the costs that are out there. That's part of what we're facing on the utility side is quite a bit of increased material and labor costs. And then there is a vacuum trailer. It's an excavation vacuum. So he also has that included, Sammy has that included in the electric department budget. Next is the general fund and SPLOST 6. So for general government, we are looking to hire a part-time or a contract maintenance person. That would be to assist Public Works, especially in the City Hall downtown area, with just picking up trash, keeping all the beds looking nice. Maybe working in some of the common areas, park areas, whatever we need done, working in the facilities, cleaning up facilities. We're lacking a lot in that type of maintenance, and it's hard for Public Works to keep up, 42 miles of road and sidewalks and pick up trash and cemeteries and all the things that they do, and expect them to pay attention to that detail, which is expected more and more all the time from our, specifically the businesses downtown, keeping things cleaned up. So we're looking to do that through a part-time or contract maintenance person. We want to fill the youth services director position. That's been open for quite some time. And that will help with not only youth services, but with all three facilities out there, maintaining and operating everything that goes on in those facilities, which is what Monica Barber, who had that job last, was tasked with doing. And I know that would help Dennis a great deal. And we also have purchasing an administrative fleet vehicle, which we had in the budget for this year, but we're going to wait until January to purchase that vehicle, which will be exactly what it says. With Richard retired, there won't be another dedicated vehicle for the city clerk. We'll have a fleet vehicle for administration to use. So that's how we're going to attack that in 25. On the police side, they're looking to do some building improvements for CID and for storing the evidence. So budget increases there, and also looking to purchase a speed detection trailer. I know that's one of the things that we looked at with some of the accidents, specifically the one out at Kia Parkway, where there was fatality out there a couple of months ago, and trying to get traffic to slow down and pay attention to the speed limit. So we're looking to purchase that in the police department. Fire and EMS, purchase another ambulance out of SPLOST 6. This would be out of the general fund. This would be out of SPLOST 6 funds. We have probably had the worst maintenance year that I can remember on fire and EMS. It's just that the vehicles just do not hold up the way they used to, and they're getting old, and we definitely want to keep ambulances in good shape. Also, the new ambulance that we bought made 5 calls, and we had an accident in it, and it's been out of service ever since. So having a good backup is important, and we don't have a good backup. Public Works, we're going to increase paving budget $100,000, which is brings up to $300,000 for paving. And then equipment, a truck, and some other small equipment out of SPLOST 6 then, to supplement that budget as well. So in order to pay for these things and to try to keep pace with increase in those services costs and just the cost of doing business for us as well, we're looking at a water and sewer rate increase of 6%. So that would be on the minimum bill, which is $10.45. That would be a 63-cent increase per 100 cubic feet of water. That would be a 20-cent increase. That's how we measure. Instead of gallons, we measure 100 cubic feet. So if you look at, there's an example there, my water bill from last month, actually 500 cubic feet was $27.60. So with the increase that we're projecting there, you'd have an increase of $1.55. So you go from $27.60 to $29.15 for your water. Garbage rate and waste in our contract with them, they have an increase based on the CPI, and they are increasing on us 2.9%, so passing that along to the customers, that'll be a 35-cent increase on the garbage bill as well. And then trash collections, curbside trash collection, increase $1 per month, which will take us from $6.50 to $7.50 for that service. So the total average residential customer would see a $2.90 per month increase in their utility bill. Again, water may vary because it, especially how much you use. But that's what we're recommending to keep pace. Again, water and sewer are pretty much breaking even. We don't transfer any money out of water and sewer. It stays in water and sewer. Curbside trash, if we were at $20 a month for that service, we'd come closer to paying for itself. So there's a lot of ground to make up there as well. So these are just incremental increases to keep us in a reasonable, I think, amount to help pay for the service. So just in summary, looking at the budget, 2006 to 2025, you can see there in 2007, we had around a $12 million budget. In 2025, we're at $30 million. Some of that, or a lot of that increase has been based on the automotive industry, the property tax, abatement rolling off, and them paying 100%, except for the newer projects now. And also easy blockchain on the electric side. Again, that's why our electric budget is as large as it is, but that's a good source of income. Also, our franchise fees, like with Georgia Power and Kia, has gone up. It's about $650,000 a year now that we collect from Georgia Power on franchise. And we have other LaGrange and LaGrange Gas and others that we collect those franchise fees as well. So, good, strong operating budget. The level of service continues to increase. The city's employees continue to work hard every day to provide those services. I think also one thing about our total budget is our debt service is only 5% of our total budget. So we have very little debt comparatively. Water and sewer is about it's about 18 million total on our water and sewer system, but we'll never be out of debt on water and sewer. So I think that's a good ratio for debt service.
This doesn't have any numbers for the new water plant.
It does not. Don't anticipate we'll be paying for any of that in 25. So, our process, we're at October 29, so presented the budget and it's available online. We'll be glad to make anybody a copy here that would like to have a copy, that wants a hard copy to come out and pick that up. That includes anybody in the public. November the 11th, we'll have our first public hearing, required public hearing. November 26th, we'll have our second public hearing. And then on December the 9th, for the council's consideration for the budget. Any other questions? Y'all got all the information there, so we've got plenty of time. If you got questions or concerns after your review, please let me know.
Anything else for that? Anybody? Okay. The items on the business meeting for the November 11th meeting, 5:30 p.m. will be the 2025 proposed budget public hearing and the Historic Preservation Commission appointment. So those are the two items we'll have that evening. Announcements. One thing we used to always do here, and it almost became comical, not comical, but it was a great thing, is every meeting we would have our Harris County Commissioner, Jim Wood, here. It's great to see you, Jim. Now we've got And I'm saying that because I'm hoping you're here every week. We've got our, every time, and we've got our new upcoming Troop County Commissioner, Rex Scott, here is with us tonight. So come Tuesday, he'll actually be officially our commissioner. And it's great to see you here. So we appreciate that very much. What other announcements do we have this evening?
We have the annual Walking Forward Cure, will be held at West Point at the River Park Pavilion. It'll be Saturday, November the 2nd at 10 a.m. This is sponsored by the Betty Legale Foundation, and most of you are aware that Legale was an employee of the city of West Point for many years. So please go out and help support this foundation.
All right. We also have the Mary Market that's going to start on Friday evening at from 4 to 8 p.m. And that's going to be for the early bird shopping, and Saturday from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. That's going to be at 709 4th Avenue, West Point, Georgia, 31833. Everybody knows it's still right. And also, this is Point University's homecoming week. We want to make sure we're supportive of that. Friday, November the 1st, they're going to have a food truck lineup for the Skyhawk Forever Fest, and that's gonna start at, let's see, what's the time, 5:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. And also the game is gonna be on Saturday at 3 p.m. down at the Valley Stadium. What is that, Round Stadium, I guess? So that's all I have.
Sunday, November the 3rd is the 187th anniversary of the West Point Presbyterian Church. Wow. Second oldest organization in the city.
Oh.
The city's barely older than the church.
It is.
It's quite an accomplishment.
187.
187.
Close.
We also have, this Thursday, we have trunk or treat around town, but particularly First Methodist, from 5:30 till 5:30 to 7, I think, actually. And then same thing in front of First Baptist. The Baptist and Presbyterian are hosting one in front of First Baptist on 8th Street. Same time. So just nice, safe locations to bring the kids.
What's our trick or treat hours again? 5 to 8?
5 days.
Gotcha.
Ed, do you have any, how is early voting going? Was it worth the money we've paid so far?
I don't know about worth money, but obviously people have been voting.
Good.
I forgot what the number was. I sent you an email.
200 and some odd people.
200 and something people have voted, so.
I tried to go today, but I forgot I live not in Troop County.
Yeah.
Bless you.
The numbers are huge though for people going to the Granger though, how much, we're not here though.
They're adding numbers in.
Yeah, they're starting to, you know, they're jumping up, but they weren't big numbers.
We've had inquiries in Harris County and have directed them in the right direction there. Some of our neighbors have asked about it, more than has ever happened before.
I think it's pretty high numbers for her voting, actually.
It's everywhere.
I did have someone call me at 12:30 at night and wanted a ride to the poll.
Bless your heart that you answered.
Right then, Sandra.
I guess it's just that important. They were thinking about going.
Phone rings at 12:30, I figured out how to make mine not ring at 12:30. All right. Need a motion to
I
adjourn.
move for German.
You move for adjournment? Motion, second? Second. All right, you know, we'll stay.